Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Spark Stories. And today we are here with Dalia Kyi to hear her Spark story and what inspires her to do the work that she is doing to improve the community. Dalia is a program manager at Embark, which is a grassroots nonprofit founded by refugees for refugees. She is also a community researcher for the Attorney General's Crime Victims Assistance Division in Iowa, and she's currently working towards a master's degree in social work and mental health counseling. She volunteers with the Karen Association of Iowa and the Karen Baptist Church. So thank you so much, Dalia, for being here today to share your story.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the work you do in the community?
Yes. I'm a program manager at Embark. I oversee crisis and advocacy services and then interpretation translation services. I started working with Embark back in 2014. I'm with Embark about 7 years now. When I first started, I started as a volunteer for a few months, and then there's a position open, and then that's when I start working with Embark.
So you've been working with Embark, and out of all of the work that you do there or in your volunteer work, can you tell us a little bit about what has been the most fulfilling for you, or a day or an experience that's been really satisfying?
Yes. I came here as a refugee back in 2008. I first resettled in Rockford, Illinois, and I lived there for 5 years. I went to high school there. I graduated in 2013, and I moved to Des Moines in 2014 for school and job opportunity. I started working with Embark, and then I think the most satisfying thing is helping my own community, because I came here as a refugee. When I came here, I didn't speak any English, right? So I myself gone through this struggle, and then I know how hard it is to settle in the third country, not knowing the English, not knowing the culture. So that's what inspired me to do the work that I'm currently doing. And then it's so amazing that you can make a difference in the lives of others daily, and then you know that you will be there whenever they need you.
That is something I think that's really amazing about you and about Embark, is that it's something that was founded by refugees and for refugees. And as a refugee yourself, I'm sure that you had experience with a lot of different people helping you as you kind of transitioned to live in this country. Can you talk about how maybe the services that you provide, how they are different compared to maybe someone who has not been a refugee, not lived in Burma, or like in another country, how you can help people in a different way?
Yes. I can talk about, there's a lot of things that Embark is very unique, as you said, founded and led by refugees. So everything that we do is come from the community. For example, the community would come to us, we need ESL class that we can go to, right? There's a lot of ESL class in Central Iowa, right? But it's so hard for the community to have access to it, right? To be able to go to the ESL class, we need to do the registration, and then where do you find the resources, right? So Embark, I can talk about the ESL class that we have. Embark, we partner with the Lutheran Services of Iowa. Our classes are very unique. The ESL class, in the class we provide, we have a lead teacher, which is the American lead teacher, and then a co-teacher that speaks the native language, so that it can help with the barrier. For example, our client want to come to the class, but they don't have a transportation. That's something we help them figure out, either carpooling, calling other driver if they can pick up this client so that they can come to class. Childcare, we offer childcare on site, so that the student can come to class, can bring their kid without having to worry who's going to take care of their kid. And then we also have a co-teacher that speaks the language in the class, so that if they need to communicate with the teacher, then that's something they can communicate, right? For example, if they come to class and then they don't know how to talk to anyone, right? Or they don't know how to communicate with the teacher. That will be a challenge, and then they might not feel comfortable. So our classes are very unique compared to others because we provide childcare, as I said, we provide transportation, and then we help them figure out how to get to the class. And then the important part is we provide a native speaker that speaks their language to be on site, so that whenever they need to communicate with the teacher, then they can do it. The reason we're doing that is because the majority of our clients are not literate in their native language. That means they cannot speak or write. So they're very, very basic level. So that's the very unique about Embark is we do what the community wants and not what we want.
And I imagine too that the barriers for a refugee who doesn't read and write in their native language and then comes to Des Moines in a completely different environment than they're used to. I'm sure that these services are just life-changing for them and really help them to be able to function in Des Moines. So it's amazing the kinds of services that you're offering for them. Do you recall any specific experiences, like a specific person who you met through Embark or through your work at, with the Attorney General or at the Karen Association? I'm sorry, is it Karen Association?
Yes.
That you've helped, some specific person that you can tell us about, somebody who's moved to Des Moines maybe and you've been able to help them?
Yes, I have so many stories to share about that, but let me tell a story. I have a client that's when I started working with Embark, right? Back in 2014, I have a client that resettled in Des Moines, Iowa, through our partner Catholic Charities. And then after the 90-day service is done, the clients need help with job, with help with their rent assistant, need help with the food assistant, medical assistant. That's when I remember I helped that family. It's very high need because dad has health issues, and then mom has a very hard time hearing. And then by that time, we need to help them applying for Social Security. We help them apply for food medical assistant. We help them apply for housing assistant because dad is unemployed because of a health issue, and then mom has a hard time hearing, right? So it's very like how do I say it's very challenging, right? Because we have so many clients that come to us like during crisis, right? Not employed, and then have a hard time hearing, can't speak the language, have a hard time with the transportation. So everything at once, and then I feel like it hit them so hard, and then we don't not want them to scare because they've been in the country only 6 months, right? And then they're not sure what to do next. So Embark is there for I will say the majority of the cases we get is crisis, like homeless situation, right? And then it's very like emergency situation, like I don't have food, what do I do next? I can't pay my rent this month, what do I do next? So we're taking all those cases and trying to figure out how to help them. So specifically to this family, it's a very long story, but just in a short way that now, the mom is under the SSI. That's a long process that we help the family, and dad is employed, and then kids are able to speak English now, so that can help the family, like, reading meals, going with mom to appointments, taking mom to the appointment, and then I follow up with this family last time, and then they're now a homeowner. I feel like that's very amazing, from starting from the very beginning and then getting that far. And it's a long journey for them. I think it's 7 years to accomplish that. It's not easy, but they made it because of the help from Embark, I think.
So that's practically since you've come to Des Moines that you've been helping this family. It sounds like that.
Yes, I've been working with this family from start. ever since I started working with Embark. So that's back in 2014, but we're still making sure our clients are doing well, and then, checking in with them. And then it's, yeah, it's a long way to, and then I'm happy to see this client going this far. And then,
And you are now working towards your master's degree in mental health counseling. So you want to continue doing this type of work as your career going forward. Yeah. Or is there another vision you have for what you kind of want to do once you get your master's degree?
That's a very good question. Actually, so when I first graduated in high school, I wanted to be a nurse, right? And then when I moved to Des Moines, my mindset changed because of the work that I do. It's so hard to not help those people that need help. When I start working with Embark, and then I realized, oh, this is so hard. And then, I have to work with the community. This is so hard. I can't imagine if Embark is not there, honestly, because thousands of the refugees from Burma resettled in Des Moines, right?
1,000?
Yeah.
1,000 people in.
Yeah. So it's, the majority are Karen Chin in Des Moines, followed by other ethnic minorities. When I help them, I feel like because of their past experience and trauma, it's challenging, right? Sometimes we talk to them and then they share what they're going through. And I myself, I've been through it. So when I work with the services provider, they always ask, do we have any mental health therapists that speak the language? And we don't have anyone. And then probably I'm the first generation that graduated in college in my family. And then we came here in 2008. So the majority of refugees came here in 2007-8, right? So we're the first generation that have education. So I was like, I need to work on my counseling degree, so that the community that's struggling with the mental health can at least have someone that speaks the language, so they feel comfortable, sharing what they have been through, right? So that's what motivated me. So right after high school, I didn't know about the counseling mental health. I'm from Rockford, Illinois. It's very small. So we don't have much resources, if you want to become this, what do you major? So nothing like that. So I think everything that I do, I learned from Embark, how to move forward with my career.
I think that's so inspiring for young people who may be trying to decide, what they want to go to college for. I think it's so great that you actually are molding your own profession based on the community's needs, and not just Des Moines' needs, but also your specific ethnic group, their needs. You may be the only mental health counselor that can provide services. So I think that's a really beautiful vision that you have, and that could help other young people to think about what they should become when they grow up, is maybe just work in community organizations and see what the needs are in the community. To kind of close, do you think, are there any books that you have read which have helped you kind of inspire you, or which have been influential for you?
Yeah. I have read so many books, but I can talk about one specific book. Back in college, I read about Enrique's journey. It's a young boy who trying to migrate on the train to the US. I feel like his journey and our journey is the same, but it's just different situation. I feel like that's so inspiring, such a young age, what he has to go through. And then compared to our refugees community that I work with, that they have to go through, it's actually the same journey that we've been through. And then at the end of the day, we made it, and then we survived, and then now we have a place to call home. And then I feel like that book is so inspired, and I'm glad I was able to read it. back in college.
Thank you for sharing that. And Enrique's journey, he is coming from Central America, and I find it so interesting that you coming from Burma or from Myanmar could relate to his journey. And so I know that Embark has actually also started to work with refugees and immigrants from the Latino community as well. So I think that that's a really beautiful thing, that, you know, you're coming from very different backgrounds and ethnic, you know, histories, but you're able to connect with each other in the journey that it took to come to the United States, and maybe the trauma, the shared trauma of that journey, and what was happening in your countries where you were born. So I think that's a great book to recommend. We do have it here at the library. So
I feel like it's very heartfelt, you know, when you read it. Oh my goodness, this is so hard. This is so hard. And then it's remind me of when my family moved to United States. You know, before we moved to United States, my mom, I didn't remember, but my mom said she carried me on her back to make it to the refugee camp, because our houses are burned down and we don't have place to live. We either live or we die. So it's this, you know, struggle. We live in a refugee camp over 13 years before we make it here. You know, those it's a long process to make it here. And then that book remind me of you know, it's very hard. It's hard, but we made it here safely, and then we have a place to call home.
That's unbelievable to imagine. I don't think that most people, when they think of a refugee coming to America, I don't think that they think about the, you know, first the journey to the refugee camp, and then the 13 years that you spent in the refugee camp. I mean, so you were basically from the age of 1 until 14 or 13, you were living in a refugee camp. So that's like your whole childhood. I can't even imagine.
My whole childhood, and then I would say little of my teenage there, because I came here when I was 14. So,
yep. And were you able to come with your whole family, like your mother, your
Yes, I was able to come here with my whole family. We first resettled in Rockford, Illinois with my family, and then I moved to Des Moines back in 2013 for job and school opportunity.
And so is your family still in Rockford then?
Yes.
Okay, so you've moved again. It's a whole new start here in Des Moines. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience about anything they should know about the refugee community, or anything that Embark does?
I think I'm very thankful of Embark, and then especially Henny. Henny is our executive director and then our co-founder, and then she puts a lot of like time and effort into this organization. When we started this organization, she was the one who organized it. To, you know, the community go to her, ask for help. Is there anything you can help us, you know, to help our people? That's when she started. She started off as a volunteer for a few years just to, you know, to have this organization. And then I truly appreciate her leadership, and then all the founders that created this organization, so that we can help our community and be strong together.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Dalia, for joining us today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that the audience enjoyed hearing your story, and that they'll share it with their friends and come back again next month for another story of another amazing leader in the Des Moines community. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.